Welcome everybody to we don't know what we're gonna call this podcast yet, so we'll
PSL Casting Couches.
Yeah, sounds like actually a pretty good name. But welcome to the first one. We're gonna be talking about a little bit of everything actually: local soccer, local leagues, local tournaments.
The international ones. We
international ones.
Eurocopa. It's a great time to be soccer fan ahorita. So it's you got Copa America that's going to be starting
today. Actually, yeah.
The Euros has been going on.
The Euros have been going on for a week now. So yeah, you have Euros starting at 8 a.m., 11, and then 12 or something like that. Yeah. And then you have the Copa America literally like at 5 p.m. So if you're a soccer fan, this is a great time to be alive because one, you're watching Ronaldo's last dance. Bro, 6 freaking Euros?
6.
That's like playing 6 World Cups at the same time. Like literally what it is. 24 years.
A lot of people say that the Euros are a lot harder than the World Cup too, so.
Well, that's what they say. And usually they say that the winner of the Euros actually is like the favorite to win the World Cup. But then again, when Portugal won it a couple of seasons ago, they definitely did not perform well at the World Cup.
That would have been they won it 2018, 2020.
Yeah, cuando Quaresma ganó con el golazo que se aventó el güey.
Ronaldo as coach.
Ronaldo as coach because he injured himself like an old man. But 24 years, man. 24 years of high competitive soccer is crazy. And to be looking like that at 39, I wish I could look like that. I don't even look like that and I'm 30.
His first Euro too it was at Greece, you know. I just the reason I remember it porque fue cuando salieron los Mercurials, no los verdes, ¿te acuerdas?
Yeah, the green ones, yeah.
The green ones. That's what I remember. That was Bruno Silva was his first one, no, con Figo. And
he was 19, I believe, when it was his first Euros. I was looking at the video the other day. 19 years old y luego jugó a los 23 y luego a los 28, 32 y 36.
36. Sheesh.
So definitely up there. And then Messi's last dance in the Copa America, can he get a double P? Who knows?
What is it? Conmebol is going to do everything in their power, so he does.
we just saw right now, too, the final of Copa America is going to be in Miami. So if this isn't as scripted as it gets...
There should be a over-under for how many penalties. I'm sure a lot of the Messi haters will put in one. Maybe for Portugal, too. You never know. I'm sure they'd love for Ronaldo to win another Euro too.
Yeah, apparently they're actually just looking at the scores now. Argentina's actually playing right to second, so yeah. If we see any updates, we'll put it on here. But yeah, you want to go over some predictions? We got predictions for y'all.
The Euros or Copa America? Okay.
Yeah, we'll start Copa America since we're already there. It just started. Argentina versus Canada.
Okay, so
we'll go there.
Argentina, Canada, Chile, and Peru.
That's Group A.
What's up to the homie Alvaro? You remember Alvaro?
Oh, Alvaro, yeah. I think he's over there.
Yeah.
I saw him earlier.
Argentina, Canada, Chile, Peru. So I don't know what's happening with Canada. This is supposed to be, which is weird because it's supposed to be Canada's like best whatever golden generation, whatever yeah, and I don't know what happened. There was like a huge fall off in the past couple of years. So I don't know. I would say
it's a hard group actually.
Yeah.
Outside of Argentina, obviously, but like Canada, Chile, and Peru are usually always like very.
I'm gonna go record this too. A ver quién va mejor con estas predicciones. I'm gonna go Argentina, Chile.
Okay, I'm gonna go Argentina, Canada.
Dang. Okay, and then we got Group B. We have Ecuador, Jamaica, who is also playing right now, according to this.
I just had a drink.
Mexico and Venezuela. You were saying this was a little harder for Mexico than it looks like?
I think so. I think, especially if Jimmy decides to stick with this base. Now, let's make this clear. This is my hot take. Mexico's not passing the group. They're not passing the group stages. They're not.
You can't get over that. Santiago Jimenez is on the bench. So that's your. I think.
Okay, I'll go into that a little bit later. But the reason why I say that Mexico's not getting out of this group stage is because Jimmy Lozano looks like he's experimenting with a new base, and I think that's okay. As a coach, especially right now, I feel like you have to try things and you have to be willing to fail. The only thing is that the Mexican fan base will not let you fail. They do not like failing. They love putting pressure on the coach. So the reason why I say this is because the players that he put out against Brazil and the team that he put out against Uruguay was not the team that's going to be passing this group stage. I don't think so. Now, if he changes it and if he puts out the best players that we have, I can see them passing as a second. But if not, I don't think they beat Jamaica. I don't think they beat Venezuela. And I think they struggled against Ecuador. But hopefully they prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I still think they go. I think they go second, like you're saying, because I don't think they'll have the consistency to. I don't think they have their like the depth
Yeah.
to win 3 games. I could see them beating Jamaica.
I just think they're
Ecuador
fast.
is. I've heard. I honestly haven't watched a whole lot of South American soccer, to be honest with you. I'm just going off of like the news and stuff. Ecuador is supposed to be doing really good, and then Venezuela, pues Venezuela.
Venezuela, they're just the extra team there.
I'm
But
thinking
I have,
Ecuador in first, Mexico in second.
I have this group: Jamaica first, and Ecuador second.
Jamaica.
Jamaica, bro, they're quick, they're fast, they're strong. They're the new team.
Okay, Jamaica. Okay, Group C: Bolivia, Panama, and then USA and Uruguay.
Yeah. I actually really like this group. Obviously, Bolivia is one of those again, like just like a little extra. Panama can sometimes be a little pesky, but I see this group being a pretty easy way out for USA and Uruguay. Uruguay probably first. I really liked how they play against Mexico. Again, I don't know if it's because of the base that Mexico had.
Yeah.
But I really liked how they played. USA is a little bit weird. They played great against Brazil. They managed to get a tie. They tied, right? Or they ended up losing last minute too.
No, they had.
No, I think they tied.
I didn't watch it.
Well, a great game against Brazil, and I do feel like they passed this group. So it should be USA, Uruguay, and I think they can go either way.
Yeah, same. I think Uruguay's got Bielsa as their coach, so that's always an advantage. And I like the U.S., but I don't like Berhalter, and it's like a. I mean, at this point, it's too late to change coaches, but it's like you got the best generation again, allegedly, or one of
It's gonna
another
get better.
golden generation.
Yeah, it's gonna get better. I
But
feel like
you
the
have a
USA
coach
has
that
more depth
doesn't.
with that.
I feel like it's one of those things. It's such an American thing, but it's got
Yeah.
a guy that got. Well, I guess it's such a soccer thing. I guess it happens everywhere. But you know, I was reading today too that I guess one of Berhalter's brothers is pretty up there too in U.S.
You think it's
in
very
the-
political in
in
terms
the
of-
pyramid? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I mean, they let the guy go, and then they announce a new coach, which is him again.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels like it is kind of like just like most of U.S. soccer, kind of like a good old boys club. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're, which honestly, I mean, I'm sure that's the same thing that happens in Mexico or whatever, everywhere else, but. I don't know. No les tengo tanta fe.
So
I would
do
say
you have
they're
USA getting out of the group?
yeah, for sure. Second place, maybe. I don't think they're better than Uruguay. For sure they're better than Bolivia, even though Bolivia's pretty good. Panama.
It really is both Mexico's and USA's group to lose. Like, in paper, you should have both of these teams passing out of the group stages. But, like, we've seen many times before where they just struggle. And they just, for some reason, make it hard on themselves. Or they put themselves in a position where they can't get eliminated. And the last group, which is probably one of the easiest groups for Brazil that I've seen in a while. Brazil, Colombia, Paraguay, and Costa Rica.
So I was reading. I think it's Brazil. Do you think like I was reading how like not reading, but I was watching a video. They were saying how this is the worst Brazil in the long time. Is there just? I feel like there's such a hatred to like new things. Like anytime there's younger players, anytime there's like new things involved, it's always it's so much worse. Like era mejor cuando estaba Ronaldinho que llegaba crudo que un güey que that's been fit since he was 3. You know?
Yeah.
Like it's weird. I feel like it's just hatred automatically. Like I feel like they have such a good team. They're fast. I feel like they're not the traditional Brazil,
Yeah.
right? They're not the favelas Brazil, right? The Joga Bonito. They're all. I feel like nowadays every player is the same freaking person. The really fast player. Almost everybody's abilities are almost the same, especially if they're playing Europe really young. But it's still like a bunch of dope players. I mean, you're just at the top. You guys,
I feel like they have this stigma where just they don't like changing the soccer era. Like they want to see that type of 2006, 2007 Brazil that made us fall in love with playing Joga Bonito.
Borrachos cantando.
Yeah, bro, just en medio, Dani Alves hitting his wife,
How was it his wife? That was just a
random.
Not that it was okay.
Definitely not okay.
but
that type of era, like desmadre, like the Brazilian thing, and I feel like now most of these kids that are young, they're dedicated, and you can see Vinny fucking loves playing for Real. Who you have in there? Who else is in there?
That's what I was just looking up. So Rafael, but you have Becker who plays in Liverpool. Defense: Danilo, Marquinhos, Wendell. Where's it? Arana, Gabriel. So most of these guys are in Europe. Militao. All these are all European.
Young.
Yeah. On the midfield, same thing. Oh, Douglas Luiz, Pepe, Ederson. Not
Not Portuguese, Pepe.
not Portuguese Pepe, but he still plays at Porto.
Yeah.
Rafinha. I mean, just Rafinha, Paqueta, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Martinelli, bro. Like, Even
bunch of
what's his
young
face,
cats.
the new Edric, whatever. I know he's a younger cat, but like, I mean, he's not a bad team, especially for this Copa America. It's not a bad team. I'm going to go out and live in that to even say that Brazil takes it up.
It's not a bad prediction, especially because if you think about it, do you want a young team coming up that's playing really well against a descending Argentina that probably has one of the oldest, I guess, players, which is Messi, but then again, he's the fucking best player in the world.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I don't know about that.
Come on. We're not gonna go into this debate, guys, because
There's the hot takes.
There's another hot take. We'll just agree.
Yeah.
Let's agree to disagree on that.
No, but I get what you're saying. I mean, that's the thing. But I mean, who do you think makes it out? So we got Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Paraguay.
Obviously, I have Brazil passing as number one. The other three are kind of a toss-up for me, but I want to say Colombia is the one that's probably the best out of the other three. So Brazil, Colombia, it's a pick for me.
So, and then for those, I mean, most of the people that are, especially initially, that are going to be listening or watching this, are going to be here within our community.
Yep.
So most important for us, we get game. You said it was going to be C number 2, so Group C number 2 against Group D number 1.
Yeah, so if you're in Phoenix, we're going to be having a quarterfinal match here, which I don't know the exact date. We'll put it on here somewhere, but...
July something?
Yeah, I think it's July
5th?
4th, actually, or July 5th. It's basically 4th of July weekend. We're going to have a quarterfinal between, you said it was D1?
So D1, so Brazil that we're thinking, and then in Group C, we could have U.S. Brazil. We had some exciting options. It could be U.S. Brazil, it could be Colombia U.S., Colombia Uruguay, Brazil Uruguay. Imagine that.
That would be nice.
So any of those, que sea un Panamá Costa Rica, güey, with all the respect.
Watch it.
Pagaste $300 por boletos, güey.
Para ver un Paraguay-Bolivia, güey.
No disrespect for our Bolivian friends.
Yeah. Bolivian friends or Costa Rican friends, you know. Hopefully you guys make it out of the group, but okay, I
Hopefully
would not
not,
pay
dude.
$300
Yeah, I'm
for
gonna
that
pay for the
match.
tickets before the game, so hopefully you don't make it out of the group. To be honest, but
So that's our prediction. Who do you have taken it all?
Brazil.
Are you sticking with Brazil?
Brazil. I mean, unless it's Mexico, but you know what I'm saying. We can all believe in miracles, but
Hay que ser como Chicharito, güey. Hay que creer en cosas chingonas.
creer cosas chingones.
I have Argentina, double P. I think Messi rides off into the sunset, wins it in Miami, wins the MLS Cup, and he retires very comfortably before the World Cup.
And then they got out of the Lamar Hunt, whatever the thing, sino también.
Oh, yeah, the Lamar
viene
Hunt
ganando
Cup,
Full
which is-
City y todo también.
Va a venir acá para ganar la PLS también. He's gonna retire here in Arizona in Scottsdale. So those are our predictions. Let us know what you guys have. Who do you guys have winning in the Copa America? You guys have Argentina, Brazil, or any other teams that are on the cup? Do you want to talk a little bit about the Euro League?
Yeah, I was gonna move to the Euros.
The Euros.
Al otro lado del chart.
I legit don't know much about the Euros other than like the big names like Germany and them. So, you know, this is a very ignorant predictions. Just to give you guys a heads up.
We're gonna be guessing here.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because they're already like halfway done with the group stages. So
Right, I got Germany first. First place there. They just
Germany
won the
already-
second game.
Actually, Germany has this one kid. What's his name?
Tony Kroos.
No.
Un
Toni Kroos.
jovencito alemán.
Nobody knows who Tony Cruz is anymore. Kidding, guys, kidding. Obviously.
What kid?
What's his name? He's the one that scored today. Fabella? No. No, I'm fucking talking. I think that's somebody else. ¿Cómo se llama el vato? Players.
Ahorita te lo sacamos. But anyways, what are you gonna say about him? I'll look him up as your.
He is playing amazing.
He scored once.
He scored once
Was that
today,
yesterday? It
yeah.
must have been. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was actually yesterday. Busquemos.
June 20th.
Yeah, bro.
They
Musiala. It was Musiala.
There you go, that guy. So I think
Yep.
he's in track to winning the Golden Boot or whatever
Ooh, I love this guy.
MVP prize they give for the Euros. Just because he's just playing very well. But
Yeah. Unimportant note, but he plays in my
your manager
football
team?
manager. Yep, I just picked him up. He's on a loan, but
I need
That's the only
to
reason I-
probably get into that. I feel like we can build a solid
tap in.
squad.
Tap in all those you play football
So,
managers.
all right,
Cosa de
let's-
cultura. This is not about FIFA or Pro Evolution
yeah.
Soccer. If you know, you know. Football manager.
I've heard a lot of good things about Football Manager.
But yeah, I mean, Group A, Alemania, and Switzerland's the second. Switzerland.
Yeah, I think they already finished their second game. So
Yeah.
right now, Germany has won 2. Switzerland has tied 1. and 1-1, and then Scotland and Hungary are basically almost eliminated unless
por participar.
Scotland decides to win next game and
Nope.
Switzerland decides to drop it. So I don't think so. Don't think that's gonna happen. Germany and Switzerland pass.
Spain.
Group B.
Spain ahora jugó con Italy. They just beat Italy
They
today.
did
right?
beat them actually. Yeah. They're basically next.
Luquita, so hay Luquita también because it looks like as of today, two games played for everybody.
Yeah.
Spain has 6, Italy has 3. The other 2 have 1 and 1, so
I think bye Croatia unless something crazy happens with
they could beat.
Italy.
Yeah, Croatia plays Italy, no?
No sé la verdad.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Croatia.
Croatia faces
no.
Italy. Yeah. On the 24th next Monday.
Yep, there it is. Simon. So Albania. So I mean, it can happen. Croatia si le gana a Italia, I could see it. Para Luquita.
It was
That
Luka.
golden generation
Luka.
of freaking 20 years ago still doesn't want to die. So
This is the last time we see them. Enjoy them, guys, because this is gonna be a LeBron effect. Sorry, not LeBron effect, a Michael Jordan effect, where
like se va a poner más pelo. Luka
también. We just don't get to see these players anymore, man. Like Ronaldo's his last dance, Luka's last dance, Toni Kroos's last dance. Like these players are probably our childhood heroes, and this is the last time we see them. So enjoy it while you can, because 20 years from now you're gonna be like, that was that dude.
Recuerdo cuando Ronaldo metía goles.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna
No
be.
puedo
Are you gonna be that person whenever you see the new? I mean, like Endrick now that he's what is he like 16, 17 or whatever when he's getting golden boots.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no es como Messi. Kind of like.
Probably
like
with
the
Messi,
adults
bro.
in our life have been telling us that Messi's not like Maradona and whatever.
No, we'll talk about Maradona some other time, but I have a big ass like argument in why like people like him. It's not because he was a great soccer player. Don't get me wrong. Great player, very skilled, but that was not the reason why he became the Maradona we love now. And he's also very high on coke.
Yeah, that on top of that. Group, we talk England? No, Group C, England, Denmark, Slovenia, and Serbia.
Yeah, England can't really say much, although the group itself is very tight. 24 points, 2, 2, and 1. I think England just made it hard on themselves today with that tie against Denmark. Which, by the way, great game by Denmark. I actually watched it.
Yeah, they look pretty bad. It's not coming home.
No.
England. It's not coming home.
England is definitely struggling, which I believe they were probably one of the favorites to win this thing, right?
I think so. Sorry, I got sidetracked here, but have you been listening to this whole German bomber chant thing?
No.
So, I want to say it has to do with World War II, right? But there's like a chant that they have going on. There's just like 10 German bombers or whatever, and then
Germany has a chant?
No, the English fans. So it's a whole issue where I guess they're saying how like if they kept on chanting this, that the police would get involved and kind of stopping them, making sure. And then there's a whole freedom of speech kind of thing. But yeah, it's like 10 German bombers. It's like it's weird as hell, dude. But like it's essentially it's kind of paying homage if you want to all these poor German. I guess not poor, but World War II Germans. Let's not use that other word that we're probably not allowed to use on YouTube. But the World War II German soldiers getting shot down.
all of you London fans or
no chill, dude.
England
Seriously.
fans.
Yeah.
You guys know how we feel with the Mexico team.
Yeah, exactly. We have our chat and then we're not allowed to it. But yeah, look, I guess it's an old thing because look, we got video results from like 10 years ago.
It's a very common. We'll play it here on the side somewhere. So why are they talking about German bombers if they're English?
I want to say they're on separate sides of the war.
Makes sense. Well, I guess in English, they took down the. Okay.
They took down the German bombers. Yeah, so it ends with there's no German bombers, but whatever, because they shot them down. That's kind of what it is. But these fools are like, you're doing it in their stadiums, bro. That's like, I mean,
it's a little scary, bro. You get shot down.
It's ballsy.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. If there's one thing that I love about the English football is their chants. They have probably one of the most creative chants in soccer. Like I can't stand MLS chants. I can't stand US chants. Mexico chants are pretty cool, but nothing beats English chants.
And, I mean, generally, they end up getting passed around to most teams, but they end up being pretty like original, right? It's usually like a pretty basic song, not basic song, but popular song, and they change the lyrics something very basic. Where like I feel like in Mexico, as much as I love the chants, they're mostly copied from South America. And like I feel like Mexico has that, como que ese ingenio and all to like be able to make our own, like with our own music, our own culture. But yeah, we tend to copy like the ones that they do, and then we just change it to dale rebaño, or dale.
I think a lot
azul.
of it comes from the Argentinian soccer actually, because a lot of the Argentinian clubs have that same kind of vibe.
Yeah, so it could be, but I mean, I know we copied. I mean, MLS is still trying to figure out who they are. I feel like because you got a side of the MLS fans that want to become like the Premier League, and then you got the Latino or Hispanics that want to make it into kind of like the Mexico League, and where or at least the South American con barras and eso. So like I feel like there's that. I noticed it here in Phoenix Rising. I remember like the first couple games were like.
Yeah, the two separate.
It's weird, right? No, but they didn't like. One day they shut the puto chant down pretty quick, which is fine. But like they didn't like the smoke by all the barra, and they didn't like all the singing and all. And then all of a sudden the stadium started getting empty, and then. Oh, now Somos Phoenix Rising. Weird.
They're like, I wonder who's gonna fill these seats up.
Come on, guys. Come on, putos.
Bring it over.
Beep that Ochoa, please. But
definitely not editing this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be raw.
But I got sidetracked. But yeah, that was. I guess it's an old one. I thought it was new. I was not familiar with it. Maybe other people are, but I guess some of the results are from like 10 years ago. So
I guess it's been going on for a minute then.
I imagine like when Champions Leagues happen and all those, cuando se enfrentan, whatever. But again, I found it to be very ballsy. Clearly, at least the police and whoever, they had issues with it. Yet, as far as I've seen, they don't give a damn, and nobody's done anything yet.
I think that's what it is. So I think with soccer, you don't have retaliation as much. I mean, obviously we heard of the hooligans and el desmadre que hacían, but you don't hear it as much as you do with the Liga MX. Maybe because we actually obviously aren't like involved in the news and shit what happens over there, but we hear more issues with barras getting confronted in Mexico than in London or in England. But yeah, so I'm assuming you have England coming out of this group.
Yep. We're gonna be seeing this chant all the way till maybe about quarterfinals. Which they were saying if England doesn't at the very least make the finals, it's a failure. We love throwing that word in soccer. But for at least for was Southgate or whatever gate he is, the coach, the gaffer.
Gaffer.
But yeah.
Wanker.
That fool. So he might be done after that if he doesn't bring it back home.
It's crazy how
which he's not bringing it home.
It's crazy how like the coaches are portrayed as like, hey, if you don't make it past this round, it's the coach's fault. Like there's 11 players on the field. The coach can only do so much, especially when you have especially when you have so much talent, bro. Like, what are you like? For instance, like let's say Argentina doesn't pass the group stages, it's not the coach's fault. Like what the fuck? He's not gonna be able to coach Messi. You don't teach anything to Messi anymore.
Right.
You kind of just let him do his thing. He's the best player in the world. He has proven that many times. As a coach, you're there just to kind of motivate the team. Make sure they're motivated. Make sure they believe in themselves. Keep the morale up. Keep them happy. Because you're not going to sit there and tell them how to do a cone drill after they've been doing it for 20 plus years.
It's whatever the gestión de grupo they say in Spanish, just how you manage your group.
Yeah.
They say that a lot about Ancelotti now, which I find Ancelotti to be a really good coach, but a lot of people say, so he's not the best coach, he just knows how to make a good group of all these fucking superstars that you just, with these freaking superstars, and you just kind of let them go. Like
which that's a really good topic to talk about, because now with Mbappe coming in,
and I want to say, if I'm Real Madrid, I'm loaning Endrick. How do you say his name? Endrick, whatever that new. You know what I'm talking about?
No, actually.
That is their new Vinicius, bro.
Is he?
Yeah.
You loan him out, you say?
I would. I mean, he's like 17. He's crushing it in Brazil. They just bought him. He's supposed to come this year. They had bought him since last year, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't like how they give these young kids like such a huge amount of pressure right off the bat. 17-year-old in Real Madrid. Like, that's wild. But
17, yeah. Born in 2006. What were you doing in 2006?
Bro, I was in middle school.
Yo me estaba dando amor a mí mismo. Me estaba conociendo. Gosh, but yeah. So he's 52 million market value.
That's crazy, man.
5'8". Mira, está chaparrito el vato.
He is tiny, 5'8", compared at least to your normal England.
But that's pretty. I feel like that's pretty normal for Brazilians to kind of leave, and I feel like Madrid has adopted as they're no longer the richest club as it used to be maybe 10, 15 years ago, right? Now you got Manchester City, you got PSG, and you got other clubs that could throw way more money around. So now they're trying to stay ahead of the curve, which is what they did with Vinicius, and it came out,
Yeah.
right? They did it with Rodrigo, which is just they were going to buy him a lot younger. There's still going to be a lot of money, but for Real Madrid, it's not as much. 52 million is not as much as if they let this kid sit another 2 years and it's going to be 200. You know, like
It's crazy how the value goes up. Poor Mexican players can't see that type of value. But then again, we're also very slow.
yeah. Well, I mean, they'll try to sell Alexis Vegas to Chivas for 52 million. We'll see once he comes back.
Back to the predictions, because there's a lot of
Oh.
groups apparently.
Let's go back. Yeah.
E. Now this is the type of groups that there's so barely one game. We got Netherlands, France, Poland, and Austria. Surprisingly, France now when they got their tiene su enmascarado de la ópera.
Que madrazo le dieron a Mbappé.
Se lo dio solo, güey.
Well,
That header was horrible, by the way, Mbappe. He went like down, and yeah, he definitely fucking.
como el meme de este de Obrador, the one on WhatsApp.
Ándale.
Potariendo también.
Ándale, over here somewhere. Yeah, qué putazo se dio.
Yeah.
Very, very, very hard. Broke his nose. Luckily, apparently he can play with a nice little mask. So
That's a great nose too. So
yeah. So France should win this group. I don't see how they don't. Netherlands seems to be on pace to be the second one as well. So we'll see how that goes. But France is for me.
if you're Mbappe, what color are you bringing your mask? Since they're already calling you Ninja Turtle, like are you picking a specific Ninja Turtle?
You kind of have to, bro. I think you.
Or he's gonna go
I think
black?
he already has it. It's France colors, but he made a
really?
mistake. He should have gone with like purple.
Right?
Donatello. Can't go wrong with Donatello.
I didn't see that he had it already.
Yeah, they posted a picture up today.
Let down.
Group E.
I didn't give mine, but yeah, I think I agree
my bad.
with
What's your
France
prediction?
and Netherlands. I would agree anyways. France first.
Group E, we have Romania, Slovakia, Belgium, and Ukraine. Belgium just fell off, man.
Yeah.
Watch the game against
I just saw a score. No,
Slovakia.
I feel like Belgium has already recovered from like 2018. That was supposed to be their year.
Lukaku scored 2 goals, but they were rightfully denied or rightfully taken away. So they struggled. They struggled against Slovakia.
Courtois and what's his name? Tear that down. De Bruyne.
Yeah,
Was it them? Those are them? Yeah.
De Bruyne
Who
is
took whose
there.
wife? One of them too.
it's
Do you remember?
No, I don't know actually.
Somebody. I don't know who took who. So either. Yeah, I think Courtois took De Bruyne's wife, or vice versa.
Well, if you did, that's fucked up.
It happened. It's there.
It's crazy.
And then that's their.
Yeah, me imagino,
maybe.
yeah. The fucking team just won a shit.
It's your fault, whoever you are.
Whichever one of the two.
Whichever one of you two is your fault.
So
F?
I think this group is weird. I still think Belgium passes de panzazo, just barely, because I think they won the next 2 games, and then I would probably say Romania, just because Romania played really well against Ukraine, but then again Ukraine doesn't really have a lot, so hard group to predict. You?
Hashtag pray for Ukraine.
Hashtag pray for Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean Belgium. I really de los otros dos. I mean, like que se hagan bolas. We'll go with Romania just because
Because they already have 3
there's
points.
nothing
right?
gonna
You
be
already
happening.
have
Once
one
you
there.
get out of there, you
One
get out of
more win and you're
quarterfinals.
basically
yeah.
Group F, who we have? We got Turkey, Portugal, Czech Republic, and Georgia. Yeah, Ronaldo last dance. 39 years old.
Portugal. I'm thinking Turkey. I mean, Turkey played pretty good. Who did they play? Was it yesterday or who did they play?
I think they played a couple
Yeah.
days ago. I think they played on Tuesday.
But yeah, I mean, they are going to play Portugal, so it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think Portugal, it's their group to lose. I don't see them not passing this ground. But I would say this. I was watching the Portugal game against, I believe it was Czech, if I'm not mistaken, basically the Tuesday one. They struggle, man. They're hard to watch. Because they possess the ball. They're like a very slow Brazil. They possess the ball very well, but when it comes to the last third, they don't generate any offense. And when they do, they struggle to put the ball in. Like Ronaldo had maybe 3 or 4 clear chances. Granted, a couple were really great saves, but no tiene suerte. And then Leao, whatever his name is, también, like big dude, super fast, but he just cannot generate any dangerous plays. So I don't know. It's like a smoke and mirrors with Portugal right now.
Yeah, I think for Portugal, it's going to depend if kind of like when they won it in 2018, if they get if they get on the lucky side of the bracket and they get a couple easy matchups. But once it comes down to the Englands, the France, the even Italy. I mean, not about Italy, but you know the bigger ones, Spain. I don't think they can beat any of those teams. But we'll see. Maybe it's one of those things that they start getting better as the tournament goes. But
your
I guess there's best third place, so that's weird. Repechaje.
I guess there is a repechaje, so I guess we'll give that one to whoever is the best loser, like the Champions League here in Arizona. Prediction, who do you have taking it off?
This one, Germany and Toni Kroos.
I'm going to go with Spain. I feel Spain is the most well-rounded team out of this whole group. They've been playing together for a while now, and I think it's the same kind of squad from the World Cup. So they're consistent. I just like to I'm huge with consistency, and if you can show me that you're consistent with winning games, that's who I pick. So, what
about homie here, Jamal, Lamine Jamal?
Talk to me.
Well, he's 16 years old. He's in the team already. He plays in Barcelona. So
of course he does.
Again, yeah. I mean, but yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen him play both of these games. I honestly didn't know a whole lot about him. I'll be lying to you. I knew who he was, but I don't watch a whole lot of Barcelona. And it's hard to watch Barcelona nowadays. But
it really is.
I mean, that kid is poised, bro. Like he comes in and he plays like he's been playing for like 15 years. Like he was playing. He was today. He played and then he played the other day too. But he's 16 years old. And they were just telling how like I guess the school year is still going in Spain and how like he's still there. Like they're still sending him homework online and stuff in between Euros. Like, dude, I was playing varsity soccer and I did not want to hear about homework. I don't know about this guy.
This kid playing in the freaking Euros.
He's icing himself from the game and then now he's got to do math.
+2.
Yeah, nothing, bro. But yeah, so he played really good. And I mean, again, he is 16, so that's also another tendency. Like, they're so much younger now. Like, not just to debut, because I mean that's always been a thing. You know, you always have kids. 16, 17. That was always a thing. But like, now they're part of the team. Like now you got 17-year-olds that are part of the first team.
Can you imagine being a 39-year-old like Ronaldo and then having a 16-year-old kid come in? Like, how do you manage that? Like, do you put yourself in a role where,
I used to watch you on YouTube.
Exactly, man. You have people that watched you when you were 3-4 years old. Because, again, Ronaldo has been playing since he was 19. That's about 20-something years. And to have a kid that comes in at, like, 19, it's like, hey, I watched you when I was 5 years old when I was first starting. Like, how, in your mind, at least if you're Ronaldo, do you take a role of, like, leadership where, like, hey, I'm going to put this kid under my wing? Or do you think Ronaldo's arrogant enough to be like, nah, like, I'm still the alpha here?
It's got to be hard, dude, to be there because I feel like, and we see it here now that we're involved a lot more in like soccer, but man, this new generation of kids, I mean, this one and maybe even the one a little bit before, but they're starting out so young now that like all these kids, as much as, Jamal, whatever, most of these kids, they're debuting at 16, 17, but they've already been playing soccer like at a super high level for almost 10 years.
It's crazy. And I was watching I'm not sure if you saw the La Liga 7v7 of like the youth club that happened this last weekend.
I didn't watch the games, but I heard it because I guess Messi's kid was out there.
Messi's kid was playing with Inter Miami, obviously, and they faced, I think, Barcelona.
Yeah.
It was a huge thing. I didn't get to see the results. I don't know what happened. But like, the kid is like 9 years old. Like, it's crazy that these kids nowadays are starting very, very young. And the thing I think that's very stigma that it is now compared to how it was before, like 10, 15 years ago, is the whole being athletic and being consistent and staying in shape very early on. Like, I feel like social media helps it a lot because you can easily look up drills, you can look up workout drills and all that. And it makes it easier for you to start at 9 to 10 years old compared to when people start in like high school, like 16, 17. Because I didn't get to start actually training till I was like 16.
Yeah, I was actually I was listening, doing my homework for this Ramon Morales thing. We're gonna be having Ramon Morales over, but he was doing an interview with Osvaldo Sanchez, huge legend on the goal for Mexico, and he was talking about how he became a goalie. And he was just saying how he was playing, he played in his body or whatever, but the dude was like, it's 14, 15, and he didn't even know it was a goalie. He just played okay goalie, and they trained him, and he eventually became one of the best goalies
in Mexico.
In Mexico, and then some people will say the best one. But that doesn't happen nowadays. Like, if all these goalies that have somewhat of an aspiration to be professional, they almost pick their position at like 10, 11, and they have to go at it and train, which, dope if you make it, but imagine for all the kids that don't.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing back 15 years ago where you just didn't have a platform or didn't have the ability to get personal training. You didn't have the ability to go out by yourself and train for a specific position. Like you were still trying to figure out like, should I play a 9? Should I play a 10? Should I play a fucking 4? Like you did not know your position up until like high school, and even then, if you don't have a good high school coach, it's still hard for you to figure out your identity even after high school.
I played 4-4-2 all the way.
Yeah, exactly. And for the most part, I had no idea what a 10 was up until maybe 6-7 years ago, where like someone told me, it's like, yeah, you're gonna play a 10, and I'm like, what? So I had to Google it, and I had to Google what a 10 is, and they're like, oh, center mid, bro, just tell me center mid.
Yeah.
But for the most part, when you tell a kid, hey, you're gonna be playing center mid, they don't know what center mid does. So
the wingers, bro, I noticed that like now everybody wants to be a winger. Like before, like playing left, you know, you would be left mid, right? Mm-hmm. We didn't have wingers. Obviously, that wasn't professional soccer, but in amateur, it was 4-4-2. That's it. You're center mid, or you're left mid, or you're one of the two strikers. But now, you know, everybody wants to play left wing or right wing.
Yeah.
Most of the kids that I coach don't have no idea. They just don't want to play left wing. Where's that at? Point it to me.
And I think it's
I don't know, dude.
A big part of it is because most of these clubs now, at least the big clubs, are playing a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
And the 4-3-3, you have those left wingers that technically actually don't come down to defend as much because you have your right back and your left back pushing up to protect those as midfielders now. So.
But even if you think about like, I mean, in professional players, the more popular one now are those wingers now, or the more. Even more than strikers, I would dare to say. O antes como era como el 10. You know, you don't get those that many like that 10 that just kind of dicks around and doesn't do anything but pass the ball. There's not that many anymore.
Nah, there's not. The game's too fast paced.
Right. So like I feel like most of these players are kind of they're all the same at this point. They all have to be part of a team. And the other ones are get to be a little more individual are those wingers, because they're the ones that are having to take those one-on-ones. And I feel like that could be it. Obviously, Ronaldo and Messi, that's where they started, and they made that a lot more popular. But I mean, now I feel like most of the popular players are those wingers. You know, the Fodens, even Mbappe. I know he could be a striker too, but
it has to do a lot of the speed of the game now. I feel like back when you had your standalone positional players, for instance, like Ronaldo. Ronaldo's always been a 9 up until he started playing a little more on the wing. But he's always was known as the finisher. Like you give him the ball, he finishes. With Messi, you can tell he's a little more of a well-rounded because he's a true 10. A 10 will distribute the ball if he has to.
Yeah.
And he has the ability to become that finisher as well. So
I think he adjusted to getting slower.
Yeah, I think so too.
That let him too, because I have a thing that I feel like a lot of those fast players. What's up to the GoPro 2? I feel like those younger players, los rápidos, those careers end a lot faster if you don't know how to adjust to once you're getting slower. Because Messi would just be able to run through them, and you notice as he's getting older, now he's doing those freaking crazy ass passes.
Yeah.
And now he's jogging through that whole field, but now. You know, again,
he's jogging for 65 minutes of the match, sprints maybe 5 minutes, and then he just distributes now. Eventually, he knows when to attack the defenders and create those type of dangerous plays, but he's definitely adjusting. What we got next? What we got?
One of the questions I guess we had through we asked for.
We got some
for questions or just some topics we could talk was. How the league started. I know it was you and Robert started. I don't know if you want to talk to this a little bit more. So.
Yeah. So the question was, how did we come up with the idea of PSL, or Peoria Soccer League as it was known? So me and Robert and Alex had the idea of just starting a league, and that's the whole sense of it, to kind of make it short, that was just a little bit more focused on the players. And we noticed that a lot of the gaps between the leagues that we have now don't focus or give the players a platform for them to actually showcase their talent, because we saw that there was a bunch of talent that was basically untapped. So we didn't know how to do it. We just kind of started as like, hey, let's put in some money to buy some goals and start some pickups on Saturday mornings. And that's how basically everybody started to know us. We started promoting it on social media. We told people that we knew around the soccer community, and we started Saturday mornings. You were there when we first started as well. And we did that for about, I want to say maybe 3 or 4 months.
Perfect timing too, right around COVID.
It was actually right before COVID. We started in 2018, close to 2019, and then like a year later COVID hit. So it pushed us back a little bit, but that was the whole sense of like, we just kind of had an idea of like, hey, let's just create a league. We don't know how, but let's start with pickups. So we did pickups at Pioneer for about, I want to say 6 months, every Saturday morning, and we slowly started gathering, word. We started gathering people, and we ended up getting maybe around like 50 to 60 people at one point, and that was when we kind of decided, okay, it's time to start the league.
You guys had a tournament.
Yes, we had the Valentine. I think it was Valentine's. No, it wasn't actually. It was MLK.
It was a holiday for sure.
It was a January one. And we started with the tournament first because we're like, okay, we need to generate some cash so we can pay for, the fuels and all that good stuff. So we did the tournament. I wouldn't consider it was successful because we had a lot of fucking struggles. One, a goal broke. During the mid of the third game. So we had to go back and pick up another one from another place. And I think, who was it that was holding it?
I wasn't there.
Oh, you weren't there?
Yeah, that's why it's a funny story to me, yeah.
One of the goals broke. So I think it was Alex Manitas. He was actually holding the goal straight for like half of the game just to keep the game going.
That's how he broke his hand, actually.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's how we call him, Manitas. But the tournament went okay. That's how we kind of first started it.
Who won it? Do you remember?
Yes, actually. You know who ended up taking it? Cuernavaca.
Cuernavaca, okay.
A lot of kids from that team, which came back a little bit later, they ended up taking the first one. And then slowly after that, it took us about maybe 3 or 4 months to get the Pioneer Fields. But then once we did that, that's when Vodka came over. You started playing in there. But everybody that thinks that this was an overnight thing, no. PSL was a very, very much... What's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say it was a failure. It wasn't a failure because we had teams out there. We had the idea. It just wasn't organized correctly yet. We had troubles with refs, showing up. The quality of the refs.
Yes. Most of you hated me. Screw you. I was honestly a good referee. I was so salty when I got negative reviews for. I get so salty. I'm getting heated right now. I'm a pretty good referee.
For the one game that he reffed, he wasn't actually that bad compared to some of the other ones.
I swear, I got so many negative reviews. I was very upset. Never again.
But the overall goal of PSL, at least what it is now, extremely thankful from what we started to what it is now, and the people that have helped build it. Not only the organizers like us, but the refs and the players and the coaches. I feel like we're one of the leagues that has probably the less conflict, or probably one of the less conflicts that we've seen in a while. We have very little. We try to keep on top of that, and I pride ourselves on our fucking organization. Our organization is on point.
Yeah, and I think, that was one of the, sin decir marcas, no, but that was one of the things for a lot of us where we all grew up playing here, right? And that was one of the things where, sometimes we do play in a league, especially on the... sometimes the 11 versus 11 ones tend to be a little more organized, right? But with the 6v6, because it's more casual, you have a lot of teams that, are kind of whatever about it, right? You have players that'll play on different teams, or teams that just don't show up, teams that are maybe just don't have uniforms, just don't, teams that is just something they're doing,
It's just like a little pass.
Right, just somewhere they can go and drink beer away from their wives. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But for us, that we wanted something more organized. We found it very annoying to show up and play the same team you played last week, or just the dudes that are drunk and are after you're beating them, they're just trying to hit you or stuff like that. So it was that was one of the things I know when I started. That was kind of one of the things that I wanted to kind of add, where we were a lot stricter on the rules and everything. And I think the growth too, we slowed down our growth, right? Because we could have been a league that we know enough about social media to throw in 30, 40 teams in there and then just, have something automatically match people up and make a lot, but we made our growth slow, and we stood, we made it, we only take in a certain amount of teams, and every season we always have to leave teams out, right? But it's because that allows us, again, to be organized for everybody. So we know everybody, all the teams, we know who plays for which team, and we're able to cater to those people and to showcase them, like you said, just because we don't have 1,000 teams,
Yeah, I think it's a good and a bad. Obviously, the good part, like you mentioned, is having the ability to connect with the players, connect with the teams, getting to know them, getting to know the stories, the players, and where they come from. Because a big part of it is, like I mentioned earlier, allows us to showcase the talent that some of these kids have that aren't able to go and play at a higher level. For instance, when I started playing, at least with the local leagues, there was no semi-pro teams. There was no way to get into college unless you had a tryout, and there was no clubs that allowed you to actually try it out for them. Phoenix Rising wasn't even a thing yet. The only teams that I remember
Monsoon back in the day, remember? They went from it was Phoenix United, and then it turned Monsoon, and then Monsoon turned into a professional indoor team. And then it disappeared.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I think they're making a comeback now.
Yeah, I think that's probably the Nissan one that we saw earlier. So my thing with PSL, at least the focus now, is to give the players that don't have that opportunity to experience the feel of playing professionally or playing in a high level league. Like we see with most of these professional leagues, like they have highlights, they have pictures,
Right.
They highlight specific players because of the things that they do, and it's something that we want to do. We want to focus on the players a little bit more, so that's what we conceal our growth into a certain amount of teams because it allows us to be more personal. Like we know at least 6 or 7 players per team that interact with us on the daily as well, not only on the PSL page. So
Yeah, and I think the showcases. I remember the only thing when we were growing up or whatever, just playing through the leagues. I think it was Futbolera that shared. They would share pictures. But I was always in. Anytime our game was featured, I was in there trying to slide over if they got a picture of me. So I think it's dope. And then we get videos, and then again with it's more a hobby for me, but for you, social media is a little more of a profession. So we put in some pretty dope reels that honestly a lot of these other kids maybe wouldn't see. And then again, just people that maybe you're not good enough to be a professional, but it's still cool that you still got moves. Like you got something to showcase. You got something to show.
Yeah,
and
like
I think it's dope.
If it makes you feel one of them, it makes you feel part of the league. It makes you feel like that you belong in a brand. Like this is as much as we are the ones that organize it. At the end of the day, it's your guys' brand. Like your guys are the one. Your talent, the games. It's your guys' showcase. Secondly, shout out to Jorge for Futbolera. Actually, he was the one that started taking pictures for that league.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
But yeah, it's just giving them that feel of, you look cool playing. Like, look at you. So yeah, I think a big part of it. That's probably one of the big reasons why we started it, and it was dope. We're still growing and we're still perfecting things, but I think we're at a point where we start focusing on the overall image of PSL, not just the league PSL. So yeah. Anything you want to add to that?
No, I don't know if you want to take time just to kind of go over very quick results and stuff.
So now that we're talking about PSL, let me go over some of the standings. If I can load this up.
La Pistol for those. It's one of our favorite things. We got to rename it to La Pistol.
La Pistol? That might be actually a cool little name for like a recreational league. La Pistol. Okay, so 12 teams this season, which we're extremely grateful for this summer league. I wasn't expecting to get this many teams, so great. Appreciate you all. South Mountain, first place. No surprise there. We seen them back-to-back compete for championships. We have Morelos right under them. YBNEM as in third place. And we have Los 777. All of them undefeated, actually. They have not lost. YBNEM and 777 both have a tie. But those 4 teams are completely undefeated, which not surprising to me, especially since they're competing for that top 4. You want to take the rest?
Yeah, Tronco's right under. Tronco's actually just lost to 777, so that was an interesting one. A1, do you know the homie's name? I know he does.
Yeah, Angel. Shout out to Angel. So his team 1 win, 1 loss. Oh no, sorry, 2 wins, 1 loss. So they're oh no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong team. Yeah,
that fool's everywhere. I see him like in boxing matches.
He's really big into video editing or videography. So glad to have a common ground with him, which is pretty dope. But yeah, he was at the tank fight last weekend, so he actually put up a pretty cool reel. Ryan
Garcia suspended for 2 years. For those of you boxing fans,
I think he retired though.
Well, he retired because he got suspended for 2 years, so he's just trying to undermine. Sí, mira, ahí tenía mi. For those of you can't see on the other side, ahí tenía mi pop de Ryan Garcia, la voy a quemar. Tramposo.
Bro, can you imagine? So the people that bet on him, so they changed the ruling of the fight to a no contest.
Oh dang, okay.
So I have no idea if that's gonna affect the betting because I know he was a plus 500 underdog. So huge underdog. I actually ended up making $120 off of a $10 bet because he was extremely fucking underdog. So I'm not sure if the betting books are gonna actually revert that and take away the money that people won.
That's hard.
So we'll see how that goes. We'll give you guys an update.
And that's hard. I mean, because Brian himself, he bet on himself and he got a couple mils. So I could see if I'm a casino, I'm not too freaking happy about that. Especially because the way he went about it. Again, I'm honestly a pretty big Ryan Garcia fan. So like I said, there's a little Funko Pop right there.
He did troll everybody.
Well, he did 2 things, right? Well, one. He was overweight, so right. So in boxing, that's a huge that is a huge advantage. So he did that on purpose. Mm-hmm. So he's already bigger than the other guy. So you already have an advantage. So if he's taking something he says he's not, right? No, nadie dice, I'll see for it. But like if it's something that's performance enhancement, I mean, you knocked him out. Like you could, I mean, that could be why. Like I mean, you're already weighing a lot more. There's divisions for a reason. Again, I'm a big fan, and I was loving it. I was hyped when he won. So I don't know. What's his name too? Haney said he was gonna be gone for 2 years and come back when he. So.
Lo mandó también a la.
But anyways. Back to
PSL.
It was Guapos.
Guapos is next. Yep, in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th place. So after their win yesterday against Vaca.
And then El F. One thing I hate, Team Link. It's the day of the rant. I hate how, for those of you that have Team Link for PSL, I hate how I'm always thinking when I see a table, right, I go to the top, I mean to the far right for the points. So I'm thinking these was at 5 points. I was like, well, why is it less? But no, so Team Linked puts points and then it puts goals for and then goals against. So bad on you. So where are the points? Let me figure
myself
out
right here.
Points in the middle, left at 1 point. All right, I guess the rest of them. Buenavista at 1 point, Barca Juniors 1 point, and Deportivo Arizona with 0.
Now a quick update: LF at 33 and Deportivo Arizona are both back up.
That's right. That's right.
So they only have 2 games. So that means for everybody else, you guys are gonna finish like normal on week 6, but we are gonna have a catch-up week right after that for Deportivo Arizona and LF at 33. They're gonna catch up their games so they can, be the same amount of games for everybody. And that same week, we're actually gonna have a couple of the game breaker matches that we're gonna play with. So if you're interested in playing a game breaker match, let us know so we can schedule you guys for that week. So that's the standings. We'll put them here somewhere as a screenshot so you guys can take a look. If you guys have any questions on any of those, let us know. But that's PSL. We'll give you guys.
The
I'm not getting involved there. Nope, I am Switzerland at this point. I'm neutral. You want to tackle that?
The only thing I will say here, because even just seeing Deportivo Arizona with 0 points is, usually when you have the teams at the bottom, there's like a difference. There's a despair usually where we have because we have one division, we have about 3 teams, 4-ish, that are contenders.
Yeah.
And then you have a group of about another 4 or 5-ish that are contenders just for top 4. And then you have another 2, 3 that are just there, And I feel here, pretty much every game has been, except for the first week that we messed up and had those huge goals. So that don't even count that first week. But the gameplay overall, I don't feel that anybody's showing up and getting dominated consistently, which had been another. So, I mean, any team, I could probably see those top 5 teams, any of them winning. I'm thinking, it could be South Mountain. Siete has been playing good. Morelos is always a contender.
Morelos is always. I can definitely see Morelos being up there for sure. YBNEM is a little bit of a branch of Morelos. There's a couple players that played there last season, so we can definitely see them as well. Los 777.
A1.
We've seen them before as well. A huge amount of talent on that team. So again, we've never intended to make this league as competitive as it is, but at the same time, we're proud that it is because this makes it interesting to watch. And like you mentioned, you don't have that domination where like a number 2 seed can play the number 10 seed and they completely dominate. This is pretty even at least up until probably like the last 10-15 minutes.
To a certain point, yep.
So that's PSL. No games on Tuesday the 25th. So make sure everybody's aware of that. We'll be back in July. I want to say July 2nd is the next Tuesdays, right? So
I did put on the reel that I put out today, just going over the game of 777 and A1, was it?
I think it was. No, I think it was. The 777 game.
The 777 game. Their 777 is playing Morelos once we come back. So
that's gonna be a good game.
When it's exciting too.
Calm down.
Yes, it's nerve-wracking. I will say we had an event already. We're not gonna talk too much about it, but bro, there's such a fine line between competitiveness and just talking shit, because it's a normal part of sports, right? And we don't want to be like, hey guys, be nice, hug each other. It's a normal part. We do. We play soccer too, right? And we've been competitive. We've been that young kid, cagapalos.
We've been there sometimes.
And then now we're the older guy putting the kid cagapalos down, So it's normal, and there's a fine line, and that's kind of, it makes us very nervous of just, the people that are going to cross it, the people that have that bad day and are, wanting to hurt somebody else on a more physical way and just hurt the rest of the team and the rest of the league. So it is a nerve-wracking. Anytime we have, because we want to bring, like you said, competitive teams, with some of the players that we have, and I get nervous, bro. I get nervous watching some of these matches, especially because it gets, you hit that one guy gets hard, and then the next play, it's another one coming hard, and it's hard. And again, and we love the competitiveness. Just there's such a fine line, and then we hope we can navigate.
Yeah, I hope you guys start understanding, like, we want the competitiveness in the league. Like, but again, we're extremely proud to have that type of competitiveness, but yeah, there's a fine line where it takes it from competitiveness to aggression, and we get it. Things get heated, especially when we hype things up ourselves. Like, we love building up a game or building up a match.
Yeah.
But if we're continuously seeing that the competitiveness takes it to a whole nother level with that, then we're gonna stop doing it. It's just that easy. We'll stop doing it, and then we'll just let you guys play.
Yeah.
But again, your guys' match, you guys will be good. You want to move over to the last thing before we say bye-byes?
Last one was just on the partners. I know you talk a little, you work with it a little more, but we have a new partner
Yeah, we have a few actually. I want to talk a little bit more about all of the partners that help us, not only with the league, but the more recent ones that we have kind of worked with. Firstly, we want to say thank you to State 48. State 48 has partnered up since the beginning. We'll put it out here in a little bit. They're a youth club. If you guys don't know, I help them with social media and everything as well. They helped us not only get the Pioneer Fields, but they're also helping us with Gateway. So we appreciate them. If you guys have any kids or any family members that want to put their kids into soccer, they are a great club to start off with. They have both recreational and competitiveness. You're actually a coach for them. So he's able to attest to their commitment to the community as well. So we appreciate them. The second one that we just partnered up with, Cesar Tresvina, great insurance agent. I met with him a couple times, spoke with him about the league before actually partnering up. He expressed how he liked how we do things here in the league, and he wanted to be a part of it. So if you guys have any questions on insurance, life insurance, car insurance, I know a lot of these kids have pretty dope cars actually. I've seen a couple of them, and we also heard a couple of them.
We have loud ass car insurance.
So if you have a loud car, that's our band to hit up. So we'll put the info here somewhere. And lastly, we have two little announcements. One is the In the Box tournament. I believe it's called Copa Phoenix. It's a 77 tournament that we partnered up with Reese, or Jordan, as people know him here in the community. He's gonna be putting up a tournament in July 27th, I believe, and we're gonna be helping him with not only setting up the goals, but also just being there as a supporter. So I believe all of the teams are filled up. If he doesn't and you want to join the tournament, hit him up. We'll put the link somewhere in the description for In the Box and his social media as well. So shout outs to Reese. And
I seen him on a commercial for, was it Dove?
Oh yeah, you partnered up with Dove. My man, silky smooth like the Sohan. I make you silky smooth. And lastly, what's the last one?
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, on the partners.
Oh yeah.
We also have Jessica Bola GoPro, but if you guys, I mean, can help us out and just share all the stuff that we do. We're always sharing the people that sponsor us, but it ultimately, I mean, comes down to you guys, because the more sponsors we have, the bigger the price.
Yeah.
We get better goals, and honestly, most of the stuff that we have been, the money that has been made through the league is getting reinvested back into the league, right? You guys have seen it in the goals, the quality of the fields, you know, the prizes, the equipment. We started bringing game balls for the finals, you know, all the stuff like that. It honestly all gets, as much as obviously it is a business per se, to us this is like our baby. Like, you know, kind of like when you have a soccer team and you want to make it the best team, we want to be recognized. When we talk about what we do and how to get better, the mind is always how we become the better league. How can we have an influence? It's never like, hey, how can we make
how
more
do we
money?
make money off of these guys?
Because otherwise we're not doing too good.
Yeah, we would definitely charge you guys for everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah, share all the sponsors. We also GK Glove helps us out. I mean, if you're buying gloves, boys.
To, my boy George.
That's the gloves that I've been using the most. Just help people out again in our community. George is always dope to us and treats us well. So anytime you see us share any of our sponsors, share them up, because that shows them value. And again, it helps them reinvest back into us, which we reinvest back into the league.
Yeah, like we're not gonna be greedy when it comes to money, at least not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
No promise, but we won't take advantage of the league. We won't take advantage of you guys in terms of like monetization. Like anything that we charge or anything that we're gonna be asking you guys in terms of payments or partners, it's gonna just go right back into the league. Yeah. Whether we need goals, like you guys seen some of our goals are taped up or we were putting new parts.
It's all your fault.
we paid for parts. I actually got 2 extra goals for the same reason, so we just spent a couple more $100 on goals. And we'll be transparent. Like, you guys will see equipment like microphones, the camera, tripods, GoPros, the mounts for the GoPros. Like, all of those things cost money, and at the end of the day, it's to help you guys and give you guys better quality. So, other than that, we appreciate all the sponsors for making us the league that we are now. So hopefully we can get to bigger things in the future, which they are coming. I'll give you guys. So
big things are coming. And the casting couch, and the PSL casting couch.
PSL casting couch on the making.
But yeah, I mean, last thing I would say, just if you don't want this to be called PSL casting couch, give us any ideas.
Give us suggestions or something, because we don't know. PSL talks, PSL casting couch.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys want to see, let us know. Hit us up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.
Any topics, anything. If any of you guys want to just come and hang out at the podcast one day or another, also let us know. We can always do that as well. But
yeah, we definitely would love to have some people here to talk about their soccer experience. I know there's a bunch of ballers that have played professionally as well as semi-pro and college, so it'll be cool to get you guys' stories and just your experience into that type of platforms, because again, you might not know it, but we have a lot of young kids watching this, or at least watching us in terms of a league, that would definitely benefit on just knowing how to take it to that next level. So yeah, anything else?
That's it. Arriba las Chivas.
No, pobrecitos. Other than that, follow us, Bofinho at Instagram, right?
Bofinho_9.
There we go. Marcos21 for me. PSL or Premier Soccer Leagues on Instagram. And if you guys have any questions or anything, let us know.
YouTube you have to look for Peoria Soccer Leagues. It's easier.
It is actually easier, because there's like the Pakistan Super League, and there's also the Premier League.
I guess there's a Premier League somewhere in England.
También.
So that might have been a bad idea.
There's be a lot of PSLs. So just make sure you look for the Peoria Soccer League. So other than that, thank you guys for listening. If you guys stuck around, we'll see you guys next week?
Next week.
So, deuces.
Alright, I think we went way over than what we had planned, but I think we went pretty good. Like, toda era que empezáramos, ya nos callamos el hocico.